Okay, welcome everybody. We are going to do a quick tutorial on how to use our QuizBowl Systems program. We know some of you may be using it and may need to know kind of how to use it, or maybe you're just wanting to look at it and see, is this something that I can actually use? So we're going to do that today. And Amber Miner, well, our agent in Scott County, has used this before, and she's going to kind of go through that. And I'm going to turn it over to her and let her show you a little bit about how to use our QuizBowl Systems program.
Hi everyone, I'm Amber Miner and I am going to go ahead by starting to share my screen. Okay, so if you can see this, you're going to see beautiful blue sky. So once Mitch or Ty sends out a link to Clover Bowl, you're going to add it to your desktop. So it's going to look like this, and I'm going to highlight it real quick. So once you have it on your desktop, you're going to double click it. And it's going to show something like this. I'm going to connect. You can read it if you'd like. Okay, and it's going to pull up this little thing right here that says enter your credentials. So this is where you're going to enter the password to get into the QuizBowl competition here. So what you're gonna do is you're going to type in capital Q, quiz, capital B, bowl, #1. So all the passcodes are going to be QuizBowl #1. So I'm going to type it in and repeat that for you. So capital Q, UIZ, capital B, OWL, #, and then the number 1. And then you're going to click OK. So then it's going to pull up this little thing. It may not show on your computer, but it's just telling me that this is a new thing here. So I'm going to click yes. So I have to drag it over here because I'm using my monitor to show you. So once you're in here, it's going to show the Quizatron match or QuizBowl Pro Match Manager. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Do you guys see the blue bar at all?
We do.
Okay, I can't see it because I'm presenting my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and double click the QuizBowl Pro Match Manager. So we're using, okay, so next here it's going to say, what do you want to do with it? And you can open an official settings file, open a previously saved settings file, establish all settings yourself. Mitch has he's already have a saved settings file for us all to use. So we're going to use that one. So just click the middle button here. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Well, we were going to, the demo is, we were going to delete, but you're going to go ahead and do your thing here. I'm sorry, I'm in the way.
Oh, no, it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click the one we're going to use. The demo is going to be deleted. That was something we were using just to show you guys when we had our Zoom. So the Clover Bowl QBS, that's what you're going to double click. And then we're on the screen. So let's see. What we're going to start by doing is you have your setup and you have your play button. So we're going to start with our setup button here and kind of get ourselves set up for our teams. So let's see, let's start with our roster setup. So before, actually, I'm going to cancel out of here real quick. So as you can see, there's teams and individuals. So when we're doing Clover Bowl, we're going to work as teams, and you're going to have 4 players to a team. So in order to set up your team, you have to click this yellow button here that says Team Roster Setup. So this is in our match settings. So I'm going to click Team Roster Setup. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a team real quick. Let's do that together. So team
Team, you just put Carter, like for Carter County.
Okay, Team Carter. Player 1.
Bob.
Player 2.
Joe. Ty. And Mitch.
Okay, so next we're going to move to Team 2. So we're going to make a team name for them.
Polk.
Team Polk.
Greg. and then Greg, and then Greg. No, I'm just joking. Greg, Cindy, Ann, and Lindy.
Okay. So once you have your two teams set up, we're going to go ahead and save this. So we're going to click save, because if you click OK, it's going to say data is changed and unsaved. So do you want to exit without saving? So we don't want to do that, so that you can just go back and pull this up so you can have it ready. If you'd like to do that, if you don't want to have it ready, you can just set it up right before you start Clover Bowl. So I'm going to click save. And
we want to go to the roster, don't we?
Rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do, let's call this test 2, test roster 2.
And that could just as easily be 4th grade contest or something like that, whatever you want to change it to.
So we're going to click OK. So now we have our team set up, but before we go back and play with this a little bit, I'm going to go back to team roster setup. Now, if this is all blank, so before we had player 1, player 2, if you want to load your roster back up, you just click load. You click the roster. It should be already here under rosters when you're here, but if it's not, just go ahead and click rosters, and you're going to click your test 2, and it's going to load everything for you. It's going to be blank right here, but then you're just going to click Team Carter and whatnot, and then click OK.
And Amber, at that point, you can actually enter in 10 teams or as many as you want to enter, and then you just choose the ones that are competing in each match. So you can
back up there,
enter the whole deal if you
want.
want.
Go ahead and add just for the fun, just for kicks and giggles. Why don't we go ahead and add on team 3 there? Add another team.
Sure.
We're going to add. Let's make it team Union. And we'll put Shannon, Alicia, and Joey, and Monica. Friend.
Can't see. Okay, Monica. Okay, so
yeah, and then we can go to team 4. Let's do team 4 as well. Why don't we, while we're into it? And let's do team Anderson. Probably we would just have Anderson, but we just did it this way. And she knows her folks here. Donna, Iva.
Am I spelling it right?
Yeah. Who else we got over there, Ty?
Sarah?
Sarah. That's right. Got Sarah.
Okay. So we want to save this. And do we want to do a new?
No, no, just update that. Just, yeah.
Okay. So save that. And it says, do you want to replace it? We're going to click yes. So before clicking OK, if you were just to come on here and everything was blank, just click load and load that, click OK and open it, and it would load it all up here for you. So you can have it pre-saved there. So we're going to click OK.
So now we can determine which one of those teams we want to play each other. So team 1 doesn't have to be team 1 is just, so we can choose our team now. So we can say team Carter or team Polk, we can just pick team Polk, is going to play. So we can go to team 2 and click on it, and then we can pick it, and it could be team Anderson. So now we've kind of split those teams up, or we can change them. So the reason you can do that is if you've got, say, 6 teams in your tournament, you can go ahead and get those 6 teams in there. You can go ahead and get them loaded in. You can always make a change or two if you have to that day, or at the contest, or whatever. But you've got all 6 teams in there, and you won't have to keep pulling all those teams up as you advance through. You've got 6 teams or 20 teams or whatever, and you could just keep pulling up the 2 teams that pop up in the bracket. If that makes sense.
It'll save so much time.
And I'm not sure what slammer is. I don't know if that's that must be the buzzer.
It's the order they appear on the
The
screen, I
buzzer.
think.
Yeah, it must
Yeah.
be the buzzer.
So
Slammer.
if we
Player one,
wanted-
2, 3, 4.
If we
Yeah.
wanted Greg to be 2, we can make him 2.
Yeah.
If we wanted Lindy to be 3.
Yeah.
With the round options and the sound options and the display options, I think we're just going to leave those blank because Mitch has already set that up for you.
Yeah, well, so what you'll have to do for round options, if you will have to go to that real quickly, and you'll see multi-round setup. You'll go up there to that yellow, top yellow, right corner, and it has,
Oh, yeah.
and the way he set this up is he's got a toss-up round and then the all play, so that the toss-up round, you just have the 1s and the 2s and everything. So what Amber can do there is over there where it says select settings, you just click on that and it should have toss-up round for that one, and then it'll have all play round for that one, and you'll hit OK.
And then one thing we had to make sure we did was, and since sound options is next, even though we don't have to click anything, when you're sharing your screen, there's that more button that has the 3 dots. If you hover over it, I don't think you can see it because it's on my computer. So when you're sharing your screen, hover over the more button from Zoom and click share computer sound, because you want to make sure you share your computer sound. That way your 4-Hers and whoever's watching can hear the buzzers and whatnot. So that's the sound option you need to worry about on Zoom. So with that being said, we can move on to play. So now you can see that your teams are here. You've got Team Polk, Team Anderson. What's going to happen is once your 4-Her has downloaded the app, which we'll show another video on that to show you how to get on there, these player numbers, if you hover over them, you're going to see that those are your players. So if someone hasn't, and we'll show you in a minute the ring-in test, how that works, but when we do the ring-in test, if someone hasn't gone, or if someone can't remember what number they are, you can just hover over the number and show them. So it's going to be like that on all the sides, on each side. So what we're going to do first is when you're starting to play your game, you're going to want to do a ring-in test to make sure that all your players, make sure they're all working correctly. So if I, kind of like we did with the buzzers in Clover Bowl. So if I click ring-in test right here at the bottom, click to begin a ring-in test, I'm going to click it, and Laura has rung in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the bar here. So I can either click reset or I can hit my space bar. So in the real Clover Bowl, what you're going to probably want to do is say, okay, Team Polk 1, buzz in, 2, buzz in. So I'm going to click my space bar to make it easier for me.
Laura just sort of kind of jumped the gun, didn't she?
Yeah, and so did Greg. But so Greg right here, he buzzed in. So I can either click reset spacebar or I can just go ahead and reset it myself. And remember, you can hover over these buttons and they can give you, can tell you what they are, even though, so what I'm going to do is when I'm done with the ring-in test, once I know that everybody's good to go, I'm going to click end ring-in test. So it's going to bring me back to the screen here. So what we're going to do is next is you're going to start your questions. So as you can see here, if you forget what your questions are, they'll be at the bottom. It'll say question 1. So when I'm ready to start, I'm going to click play question spacebar. Now this doesn't mean that we're going to start yet. This just means I'm ready for Mitch to ask the question or whoever's asking the question. So let's say Mitch is the question asker here. If you can see at the top, there's the ring-in timer. So when Mitch is ready, after he's done asking the question, I'm going to start the ring-in timer. So let me go back. So I'm ready to get to where Mitch is going to ask the question. He's going to ask the question, and then I'm going to start my ring and timer. So
the question is, what is the capital of the state of Tennessee?
all right.
Hearing that Laura, she was ready for that.
So what I did is so I'm going to pause it real quick. So once Laura rung in, she rung in before the ring and timer went out. So once she did that, you can pause your ring and timer. I found that I don't actually have to do that. I can just start my answer timer. So the answer timer is this green button right here. So what you want to do is you want to start that as soon as she buzzes in so that this answer timer starts. Now, if she starts answering the question, you can pause it if you'd like, or you can just click right or wrong. But Mitch, I think we can just let it go. Is that right?
You can't.
Answering. Okay. So you're going to start. So if she's answering right now, what's the answer, Laura?
The answer is Nashville.
So I'm going to give her a right answer. So I know I did that pretty quick. We'll do it again, but I clicked right. So when I clicked the right button, which was in the green, and it had a plus sign, it gave Team Anderson 10 points. So we're going to do this again. So I'm going, now again, the play question spacebar, play Q spacebar, you can click your spacebar if you'd like. I'm just going to click it. So I'm ready for Mitch to ask my question. So he's going to go ahead and ask it.
So in what county is Greg Paxton located? Oh, Greg knew it.
Polk County.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so I'm going to give him my right answer. So Polk County got one right. So we're going to just do one wrong. So let's do another question. So play Q spacebar. Ty or Mitch?
Okay, you want the question?
Yep. Oh, Greg already answered the question that was not there. So we're going to give him
the answer is Washington County.
Washington County. Well, that's incorrect, Greg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to so I was supposed to start and pause the timer. So I made a mistake doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a wrong. So what that did was it took 5 points away from T Polk. So now Team Anderson can answer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So Team Anderson can answer if they want to. All right, Donna, I'm starting your.
Donna's going to answer the question we're going to say Michigan County.
All right, that is
incorrect. Unfortunately,
incorrect. So
and take points away, as you can see, which is correct.
Yes. So what so once Team Polk got it wrong, it gave us an option to have Team Anderson buzz in. It gave you the option to have some time to click it. So once I clicked it, Anderson got to answer. Anderson got it wrong, so I.
But you don't lose points on that second time around. You get a free shot, remember? Okay.
So let's say, so real quick, should we try showing the edit scores?
Yeah, you can show the scores.
So let's say Team Anderson, let's say Team Anderson actually got that right, but on accident, I clicked that they got it wrong. What I can do is I can manually, let me start over. I can manually edit the score. So what I'm going to do is, how do you want to edit? I'm going to do click manually. So Anderson should have got that right. So when you're adding the scores, just go ahead and put the points that you want to add. So I want to add 10 points. So I'm going to click OK. Now let's say, oh wait, no, it was wrong. I'm going to click manually again. I'm going to go back to Anderson and click -10. And so that's going to bring it back down to 10. So if you need to do that, you can do that doing edit scores right down here and clicking the manual button. So let's see, what should we move to next? So
yeah, let's go on and we'll do a bonus question now.
Okay, let's do a bonus question. So I'm going to click play Q spacebar. So I'm going to choose Team Anderson for the bonus question.
So Team Anderson got the bonus question, and so she's saying now Anderson gets a bonus. Now here's the thing: you will have to have a official scorekeeper to let you know, it doesn't automatically say that Team Anderson or Team Polk has qualified for a bonus. So it'll be just like regular Clover Bowl, where an official scorekeeper or somebody has to look and say, hey, you know, they've qualified for a bonus. And then so once they qualify for the bonus, she's went through that deal and she says, okay, Anderson's getting a bonus. Well, y'all know that we get 5 points. So she's getting ready to show you how you get the 5 points.
Yes. So what's going to happen is you'll have 20 seconds to answer it. So when I'm ready.
Well, before you do that, you got to hit the right question first.
Oh, yep.
Right.
So you're right. So right will give them the 5.
That gives them the 5. Now they get the 20 seconds to talk about it for the other set of questions for the other 15.
You're right.
Two-step process.
Yeah.
So click right even no matter what the first time, and then now we're going to start the timer.
And so we've got 20 seconds to discuss it. And then at the end of that time, we'll ask the captain to give an answer.
Did they get it right? Let's say yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
So I'm going to keep the timer running. I shouldn't have paused it. And then I'm going to say they got it right. So it's going to give them
15 more points, which is
15 more points.
So much to 30.
So should we do another one? Or
yeah.
All right, so bonus question. It's Team Anderson that gets the bonus question. So no matter what, click right to give them those 5. So let's ask a question.
Okay. Question is, name the states that border Tennessee. And so they're going to be talking about it, and you say, okay, y'all feed me these answers, and we'll be glad to get these answers. So they're going through them all, and then at the end we say, okay, take Captain Laura, can you give us an answer? And so Laura says, okay, yeah. And so she says, you know, Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. And that you say, that's correct. And so she gets, so Team Anderson gets the correct answer.
She gets the correct answer, but next time can't run out of time.
Can't run out of time, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was those were the bonus questions. So.
And so and so this is sort of the way it works out. And you just kind of keep moving on. Now, at any point in time, we say, hey, you know, the greatest thing that's all said during one thing you for sure know in a Clover Bowl you're going to have is somebody's going to say, hey, my buzzer is not working. So at any point, you can just go into that ring-in test. So go ahead and use your ring-in test. And now we can see who's buzzing, who's buzzing in. You must have changed yours to Cindy.
I did. And so one thing we haven't talked about is where you see the 1, 2, 3, 4 under each team. Only the players that are logged in show up with the white background. If it has a gray background, then that player is not logged in. And so you may need to pause for a minute if you see a gray background and make sure everybody is working correctly with their app.
So the only ones logged in are Cindy and Sarah.
And you could see there that when Amber held her mouse over the number, the name pops up, which is very useful and handy as you're going through the contest.
So I'm going to end my ringing test, and that's pretty much it. That's really all there is to it.
Yep. And you can, if you go to the end, you'll have 16 questions. And so when you get to the end, 16 questions, if you have a tie, you know, you do a tiebreaker, you can just continue on and ask more questions. It allows you to do that. It'll just automate toss-ups.
When you get to question number 9, is that when we'll switch from toss-up?
Right. Well, I think it automatically does that, right?
I think it does. So that'll be taken care of.
I can get to that real quick if you'd like.
Yep.
Well,
you're in the ring-in timer, so.
Sorry.
So you need to hit the.
There we go. So now Team Anderson gets a chance.
Okay. You're say right or wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't pop up. All right.
You hit space bar. Yeah, now hit. That team I'm looking through.
All right, so did we say question 10 or was it question 9?
Well, it's still, they're still listed as toss-up questions, but it's not that, because that's listed as toss-up and bonus, so it's still
Gotcha.
working fine.
Cool. So that's really it, though. Again, and so if you want it, once you're ready to end your match, you'll say, do you really want to end your match? They give you a chance to hold on to it. So I'm going to click OK. So one thing, though, to remember is that, I don't know if, Mitch, if you want to say anything, or Ty, but once you make sure you fully exit out, because there's only 5 of these desktop.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you when you get done, before you exit out of the desktop, you will have to you need to exit out of the program, because if you leave the program running, then the next person that tries to get in the desktop can't get in because the program's running. So you'll need to exit out of the program before you exit out of the desktop. And,
so I'm gonna close the window. So it says your session will be disconnected. So make sure you do that. And now I'm back to just my screen. So I'm going to stop sharing.
And so really that's it. Just to give you an idea a little bit about the way that works, but that's pretty much the way it's done. I appreciate Amber for doing that. Not too hard, not too difficult. The main thing is, in order for you to get the desktop, we'll send you that link. You'll just get on that virtual desktop, and then you'll just go right in, and you can set it up yourself from that point on. Me and Ty and maybe Amber and some of the other Clover Bowl team, we may be available to help you if you're going to be doing a county contest. We'll try to be around to help you. Certainly be around to answer any questions that you may have. Anything that we left out, Ty or Amber?
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, if you have any questions, you let us know.